Hi everyone, for this video I'm going to be giving a culminating explanation for my final project, Classroom Connect. So let's get started here with my presentation. So to begin, I want to talk about how Classroom Connect has changed and how my vision has changed since the beginning of creating Classroom Connect. I have mentioned this in a few assignments, but I created the idea of Classroom Connect in a course with Dr. Eileen O'Connor in fall 2021. And initially, Classroom Connect was to be a virtual online world where teachers can create an avatar similar to a Bitmoji classroom, make a replica of their own classroom, and share resources and strategies with other educators or other school personnel, and they would earn points that can be liquefied into actual supplies and professional developments for their in-person school. Now, this was a very big undertaking. I had to remember that I am only a graduate student and I don't have a team of engineers or ed tech specialists to join me on this creation process. I also had to keep in mind that there was a time limit to the completion of Classroom Connect. I am only taking this course for one fall semester, and I don't think that 3 to 4 months is a sufficient amount of time to create this big project. And the last thing I didn't have was resources. Like I said before, I am only a graduate student. I am only working on this project solo. So I needed more funding. I needed more professionals on a team with me so that my dream could become a reality. So now I want to delve into my strategic planning and reflection process. I've started to give you a little bit of an idea of how there's been a shift or a change in my initial idea of Classroom Connect. And now I want to show you that iteration process, how I was able to conform and change my vision so that way it fit the requirements and all of the resources that I had for this semester. So on my STEM website, I have a final projects page that's followed by a planning stages subpage. And I wanted to make sure that I included a planning stages page so that way I could reflect and others could see how my process changed and how my idea of Classroom Connect changed over time. So to start our way down the timeline, I had mentioned previously that before STEM, I took a previous course where I generated the idea of Classroom Connect, and I did that when exploring gamified and socially networked learning. Nothing ever came of these assignments because there was no follow-up project where I had to actually create some sort of artifact or simulation of Classroom Connect. So I figured that I would return to it in a later course or develop it after I had completed my studies. Going down the timeline, in early September, I started to think about what the goals were for my application, a broader sense of who my audience was, and if I was going to continue working with the name Classroom Connect. And we're going to get into what my application's goals are and what they become later on in this video. Going down the line again, I started to define my focus. I started to think about how my application would achieve its goals. What best practices could I put in place so that way Classroom Connect could still be a collaboration space, but with a less broad of an audience and not as expensive incentives. Next thing, I started to look at STEM tools and digital platforms that I could use to bring my application to life. This part was a bit challenging for me. Later on in the timeline, you'll see more developments into how I decided on what STEM tools and technologies I landed on for my final project. In late September, I started to craft my educational philosophy. And this was important when thinking about my final project because all the theories, principles, and practices that I would use in the classroom, I'd want to try to apply those or bring that as a framework for me so that way you could tell that there was me in this project, that I researched and studied and I have used the practices I have found best fit for a digital learning environment such as Classroom Connect. I did go through some challenges. I shared with my professors and peers what this process was like for me so far as a novice with technology and virtual reality. However, there were great developments in this. In October 2022, I collaborated with Pamela Duran and Helen Lane, and they showed me Frame VR, Ready Player Me, and Mozilla Hubs. Frame VR and Ready Player Me are the biggest components to my final project. Frame VR is the setting of Classroom Connect, and Ready Player Me enabled me to create an avatar that was able to depict what I look like as an Italian American, and my hope was that users of Classroom Connect can create an avatar that is reflective of their cultural identity. Then in early October, I provided further insight on my final project's VR platform, so I talked a little bit about why Frame VR was an appropriate setting. In late October, I finished up that educational philosophy, which really acted as a guideline for me when continuing to add to Classroom Connect. And then finally, I'm going to move myself over here so that way you can see. I determined in mid-November what Classroom Connect has accomplished and what they still needed to work on, what it still needed to be done to the application. To return back to our slideshow, I'm going to show you what Classroom Connect looks like now, that I've added all of my assets and simulated a social media for educational professionals. So this is what you'll see when you're in the main lobby of Classroom Connect. There are individual classrooms, there are seminar rooms, collaboration rooms in the back, and this is what an avatar looks like in Classroom Connect using Ready Player Me as a avatar curation system. So now these are some presentation locations at closer glance. So this is Seminar Classroom A and Seminar Classroom B. I have two streaming assets placed in. That's because this bigger one can be used to share presentations or video, and this smaller one can act as a webcam so you can actually see your presenter, so there's a more personalized feel. In Seminar Classroom B, I've included an interactive whiteboard, so participants or leaders of the seminars can take notes during the lecture process. There's also two larger assembly rooms, which I plan to use for bigger lectures, something that everyone should be participating in. These seminar classrooms are things that I would assume people in my virtual reality in Classroom Connect would sign up for. There would be a theme that they would sign up for that interests them that they can use as a resource or a professional development. Assembly rooms A and B would be bigger ideas. I'm thinking more so like showing them the long-term vision of Classroom Connect. You know, what will this look like in 10 years? Or giving them a seminar on copyright and fair use, because this is a social media. People are publishing and sharing their works. So I believe that all participants of Classroom Connect should know those rules. Here are some more simulated teacher-led seminars. So I had created my own seminars. I couldn't find that many volunteers. I am grateful for the volunteers that I have that donated some of their artifacts from this class to simulate a seminar. But I'm going to show you what I have made here. So in this room, this would be a thematic unit seminar classroom. There's a poll here where participants can rank the seminar, being helpful to not helpful. I've shown some artifacts from my thematic unit and some of the framing and assessment pieces. And again, we have that same shared webcam where you can share a presentation up here and show your person in the smaller webcam. Same thing down here for creating educational games. I'm also taking a course called Devices, Tools, and Simulations, and being that it brings in components of STEM, I thought it would be an important seminar to incorporate in Classroom Connect as it follows with our STEM principles. Here I have some individual classroom layouts. This is what I'm picturing users will use as almost like their profile page. Here I had Pam Duran so graciously donated some of her artifacts to Classroom Connect to simulate the social media portfolio that I am looking for. So here's just an overview of what her classroom looks like. This cylinder actually acts as a teleportation from my Frame VR, from Classroom Connect to Pam's Frame VR, so you can see what she's been creating. So again, it's that whole idea of sharing resources, being proud of what you have produced throughout the semester. And again, here's just some more artifacts that Pam has given me to display in her profile. This is what my individual classroom looks like. I have some of my artifacts, works that I'm proud of, a link to my STEM website. So to go over the overall purpose and what Classroom Connect has turned into, I want to go over the who, why, and the goal. So, who is this for? Classroom Connect is for students in the Mallet program at SUNY Empire College. It is a portfolio space where we can share our resources, share the work that we produced, and collaborate together on upcoming projects. What is the value and why did I create this? So this whole idea of situated cognition puts the idea of self with school, friends, community, and family and culture, and puts them together in a world with a shared goal or purpose. Most of us are in the educational field, so most of us want to advance that craft. So it's valuable for us to work together no matter the distance and come together as a team to help us all achieve our goals. And that goal is to connect students in the Mallet program through collaboration, professional development, and research. The initial goal was to connect educational professionals through collaboration, professional development, and research. But because of the restrictions that I have this semester being a graduate student, the lack of resources and time, it's more important to me that I have an identified group that is working toward a shared goal, which is to graduate from SUNY Empire and learn a lot about emerging technologies and create a community. So would you like to see a walkthrough? So I want to preface that I am nervous about showing you my Frame VR because the last couple times I tried to show it in a video, my video stopped. So I'm not going to be sharing my webcam for the rest of this video, and it's going to be a quicker walkthrough of all of the spaces within my final project, Classroom Connect. If you want to, when I post this on YouTube, you can adjust the playback speed so that way it is slower. So that way you can see all of the features and functions and details that I've placed in my room. Okay. So I'm going to start at the end of the corridor here. We have a collaboration space where you can reserve a time. There's collaboration space A and B, equipped with webcam shares to share screens and video. The seminars. And those sounds that you're hearing, those are the sound squares that are used to contain sound when others are in a professional development so they are not disturbed. Here's Pam's room, my room, assembly room A, and assembly room B. And this space here is intentionally left blank because I want to add to this social media. So if you'd like to be a part of this, please let me know and we can add your resources to this social media portfolio. I hope you enjoyed watching and I look forward to seeing all of your video explanations as well.